All right, lesson number 1, interact with the audience, right? Good one. No? This is the slide. I've already pushed it twice, but you need to back it up. Yeah. I will back. Oh, they're backing up now. Back, no, back. So, briefly about me, General Manager for the mioty Alliance. Before joining mioty Alliance, I actually worked 6.5 years for Sigfox. So I met a few people here that from those years. And now I'm managing the mioty Alliance, mioty the new kid on the block in the LPWAN world. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Great. Now, what is this? Is this a video game from the 70s? Anyone? So it's a screen dump from the spectrum where LPWAN technologies play or transmit messages. So frequency and time. This is what it looks like when you transmit a 10-byte message. 10 bytes, not much. It's like a temperature and maybe some more small data points. But valuable and important data. As you see, it looks quite different. So, the LoRa message, this is spreading factor 12, by the way, so it's roughly 1.5 seconds to transmit. Then you have Sigfox, 1, 2, and the third one up there to the right, the 3 repetitions with the ultra-narrowband technology. And then those little dots there, that's mioty. So just the visual here, it's something different, right? We're not alone here. Open bands, big downside, noise, right? So what happens if the device that you want to catch a message from, the message is disturbed by something? Could be a garage door opener, could be another LPWAN technology, something that is considered as noise. There will be some kind of disruption of service, right? And this is, in principle, the major difference between mioty and the others. So, Sigfox and LoRa, you take the 10-byte, this is represented by A, B, C, D, pack it into one message, might, like you do with Sigfox, transmit it 3 times, but it's still, all the data is in one message. If there is some kind of interference, some noise, that message might be completely destroyed, or at least some kind of data loss will happen. Mioty, we do it like this. So you take the data, A, B, C, D, and you split it into a number of sub-packets. Standard modulation is 24. These sub-packets contain more than 1/24 of the message, meaning that when you transmit, over a slight time and frequency shift, even if there's interference and we lose messages, we can still recompose the full message, A, B, C, D, thanks to forward error correction. So we can prove that this gives you a much higher quality of service, especially in difficult radio conditions. And this is a key when we're talking about, so several speakers before me have been talking about big installations and so on. That's where mioty really makes sense. So, as the British say, the proof is in the pudding. Let's move on to that one. So, Deal Metering, one of the founding members of the mioty Alliance, is providing solutions for water meter solutions, and they're technology agnostic, meaning that they do various types of wireless protocols. 2 of them, LoRa and mioty. And they want to make sure that the customers understand the differences and also be giving them the option of, OK, which one do you want? One parameter that is really important then is to compare as closely one-to-one how these technologies work in a difficult radio environment. So this is a test done in Prague where they actually have a one gateway with dual mode, so you can listen to both mioty and LoRa messages. And then you fitted 5 water meters with LoRa and 5 with mioty. And this is the result. They had 5 testing places. Pictures are small there, but basically water meters typically are deep indoor or in basements or in pit holes and things like that. So they had 5 typical locations, and they tried to get reception, get signals out, messages out. For the first one, 208 meters out, both technologies worked fine. But then they couldn't get any more data out from the LoRa devices. But mioty works. So this really proves how, in a real-life, under difficult radio conditions, you will get a much, much better quality of service with mioty. There's a question? Which network? So it's a test. They fitted here. That's the network. It's one gateway. That's the network. To compare, really, to try to see as fairly as possible. So that's one thing. Another thing then, so when we're talking about big installations, we want to do massive deployments. The network then really has to be able to receive and potentially also send out, but receive as many messages as possible. So this is a real case, customer case, also by Deal. Thank you, Deal, by the way, where in a city called Erfurt, they have a case where they, first phase, want to deploy 30,000 water meters. And so they did some radio planning. Again, mioty or LoRa. Deal metering says, fine, we provide both, but we just want to show you the differences. So they did a network planning, estimated 40 sites necessary to provide enough coverage and be able to receive the data from 30,000 water meters. With mioty, 17. Big difference already here. But then they wanted to add 60,000 more sensors. Not only water meters, but other types of sensors, indoor air quality and so on. They had to recalculate. With LoRa, they needed to add 23 more gateways. Whereas, with mioty, it will still work with the 17 originally planned. This, of course, comes directly down to cost. You can do math in different ways, but the fact remains that one site or one antenna costs to install, but also to maintain. And this is big bucks. And the predictability as well. You don't have to densify with mioty. So this telegram splitting, which is called, by the way, the technology, really gives you some key benefits in comparison to the other technologies. I've just shown you 2 here as regards robustness and scalability. Another thing is that it's actually more power efficient than the other technologies. Tests done by Fraunhofer show typically that you will get at least twice or 3 times as long battery lifetime with mioty. In this case, LoRa is compared with spreading factor 12, which is the most fair comparison when you talk about radio capabilities. Another cool thing that comes sort of as an additional feature, so to say, is that we can do mobility. Because with mioty, these little dots, they're transmitted during 15 milliseconds. A moving object, even if it's going at 100, 150 kilometers an hour, during 15 milliseconds, it cannot travel that far. If you have a long transmission time, the object will travel quite far during those 1.5 to 2 seconds, then you will have a distorted message, and the quality of service will go down. mioty will actually solve that. Talking about massive IoT, we need to be careful, as you saw on that picture. I will show a little bit more in a minute. We need to be careful how we utilize the spectrum, because the spectrum is limited. It's a limited resource, and we need to handle that carefully. It's like if you have a road and you just put massive amounts of trucks on it, it will be completely congested. It's a similar thinking here. It's a limited bandwidth, and we need to carefully handle it. A cool thing here is that these small telegrams, the chances that they crash into each other are really, really small. This also means that we can provide simultaneous uplink and downlink. It's a standard. Very important for any company, any business that really want to secure the future. I don't want to sit in the hands of one company or one ruler, so to say, that sets the standard. This is an open standard. It's an ETSI standard. So future-proofed, no vendor lock-in, full interoperability between different hardware components, for instance. Standard. We're also moving into the IO-Link world, the industrial IoT. We're part of the IO-Link standard soon to be. We're working on it. And this will open up great opportunities for all companies already in the IO-Link world, meaning that you can solve the last mile issue with devices that are far away that you cannot solve with today's IO-Link technology. mioty for OMS, part of the OMS standard, open metering standard, really important for everyone in the utility and water metering business. Coming back to this one. So, open band, busy, noise. What will happen? Sorry for the ugly rendering here, but basically, if we're not careful, this is what it will look like, and it actually looks like this already in some places. These are rendered ugly, sorry. But this is actually, it's maybe not so pretty, but this is a real screen dump showing what it looks like on the spectrum when you have transmissions of 3.3 million mioty messages in 24 hours. That's like 2,000 something per minute. Really big. Chances for these little dots to crash into each other are very small. Chances that they will be distorted in a way or interrupted by noise, very small. So mioty is definitely for the future. It's here now. We have a number of companies here present, members of the mioty Alliance, that already have solutions out there. But I really hope that there will be lots more to come. How am I doing for time? 2 more minutes, perfect. I'll push briefly for the mioty Alliance then. So I'm the general manager for the mioty Alliance. The purpose for us is to really promote the mioty technology, make sure that it becomes a power factor and a global standard eventually for the LPWAN sector of IoT. Today, there's like 60 members roughly, 58 or something if I remember correctly. We're growing very fast. Year over year, like between 50 and 60 new members every year. And if what I just showed you is of interest and you think that mioty would make sense for your solutions, please come to me and I'll be happy to discuss any details with you. Thank you.
Awesome, Peter. Thank you so much.